All right, welcome to another episode of Political Animals, where we always give you an analytical perspective of things going on, always with a little bit of cynicism too. So let's get started today. I'm here with Kunle. So Kunle, what's going on? I know that Israel has been using food and starvation tactics as a weapon to try to undermine the Palestinian movement and undermine Hamas, and to make and to get rid of the Palestinians either through genocide or through ethnic cleansing, where they just give up and move out. What are your thoughts? So what's going on, but specifically what's going on with this starvation? I think it's reaching new levels now.
Yes, pictures coming out of Gaza are now looking like the pictures of those prisoners in Auschwitz when they were discovered. We're beginning to see skeletal starving people. In the last 24 hours or so, apparently 14 people have died of starvation, and my numbers may be mixed up, but in the last few hours, more than a dozen people have died, that can be sure, of starvation, including, obviously, we've seen babies being carried that are starved, mothers can't give milk, and so on. And 1/3 of the entire population hasn't eaten anything in 2 weeks. That's 1 in 3 Palestinians hasn't eaten anything in 2 weeks. Many of them haven't eaten for days. I mean, those 2/3, don't get it twisted. Those 2/3 aren't feasting. If I say you don't fit inside that 1/3, it means maybe you've had a meal in the last 8 days. So you're not in that 1/3. They are starving that population to death. And at some point, those numbers will multiply very, very quickly. When you start seeing those numbers, that's a concerning figure, because that's just started. Yeah, it starts with 20 today, then it's 200 tomorrow, 2,000, 20,000. Before you know it, you're wiping out entire swaths of the population. The population alive of Palestine at the start of this conflict was 2.3 million. It's now 1.8. And this is going to bring it down severely.
Yeah, and I saw some of these pictures of children and even of adults, and I kept on double checking to make sure that it wasn't AI generated, because it doesn't look real. You don't think a human being can become that small. It almost looks like a doll. They look like dolls. This is very horrific. This looks exactly like what went on during the Nazi era. And my argument is that I don't know what it is. This has to do with metaphysics or with the sort of like the mythology of human beings. This is the Nazism playing out again, where the Jews are now doing it. So it's some sort of weird, what do they call it? When a woman is kept hostage syndrome. It's some sort of syndrome in which Israel, to exercise the demons of what happened to Jewish people during the Nazi thing, they're doing the same thing. It's very scary. This is textbook Nazism. And to see these kids starving, and what makes it worse is that, first of all, they're blockading so that they can't get food, and also they're providing food for them through American aid companies. But when you come, there's a chance you could get shot in the head or the chest by brave IDF soldiers who will shoot you in the head and the chest if you're coming for food. So it's like, oh, there's food. Why don't you come and get it? Then you don't come and, oh, you're starving because you don't come and get the food. But why would you want to come and get the food if you're getting shot? Oh, we were shooting you because there were Hamas men around and we accidentally hit you. But we made sure to accidentally hit you in the head and the chest. So what they're doing is they're giving these people no options at all. And on top of those 14 who died today from starvation, another 90 or so died from, once again, shooting. Israel, like clockwork, is killing 100 people a day. That's 3,000 a month. In a year, that'll be 36,000. They're killing on average 40,000 people within a year. I think they've done up to like 70,000 or 60-something thousand. These are the numbers we have on paper. It's much worse when you add up people dying from food, starvation, things like that. What are your thoughts, Kunle?
Yes, it's not only that, but also they've been adding Oxycontin to some of the flour that they're giving to these people. They're luring them out, they're shooting them, they're weakening them, they're underfeeding them, they're now starving them. And the world is watching. And you know, the unique thing about this particular genocide is that the people who are in control and in power doing it are also claiming that they are the victims, and they are blaming it on the people whom they are killing. They're saying it's the people amongst them that are fighting them that are the problem. And if only those people that are fighting them stop fighting them, we would stop killing them and, and starving them. So they're going to continue. I don't understand the logic of what they're trying to explain to people through the propaganda machine. It doesn't make sense. It just doesn't add up. No matter, even if you agree with their claim, there's no logic to it. There's no logic to it.
The logic is that Hamas is using civilians as a shield for them. So to get to Hamas, they're not outrightly saying it, but they're basically saying we'll kill civilians in order to kill Hamas terrorists. They'll say we killed 70 civilians, but we shot one terrorist. And they're saying it's justified. That's what they're saying. That's not justified. Now, the next thing they'll say is that we're not trying to kill civilians, but they're casualties. The same way that when Russia bombs Ukraine, maybe 1 or 2 people get killed. Here's the difference. When Russia bombs Ukraine, they go after strategic areas. And maybe in a month, it's a record if up to 14 Ukrainians are killed in a month. That's what happens with war. When you have a war, conventional war, civilians get killed. But this is clearly a war that Israel is taking.
This is a war against civilians.
It's actually what they're doing is they're killing civilians. It's not a war. They're not doing any strategical bombing. They're not doing any ground tactics to take people. They're just killing civilians. No matter. And here's the thing: if you tell the civilians, if you tell the Israelites that's what we're doing, they'll say yes, that's what we're doing, and we don't care. It's the rest of the world. The West is trying to say, oh no, they're not actually trying to kill civilians, although they are. But the Israelites will tell you proudly, all Palestinians need to die so that Israel can be free, because the Bible says that land belongs to us. So God justifies us killing people. And half of these people aren't even religious. Zionists don't believe in God, but they'll use that argument when it suits them for this type of genocidal, maniacal attacks that they're doing. What do you think?
Yes, it's quite horrific, and you pretty much said everything that I would have said, and I voiced that, and I doubled down on that. There's nothing that anyone can explain to me that because of some bunch of terrorists, you're going to wipe out an entire population of human beings, that you are so afraid that you have to starve children and put bullet holes in toddlers' heads, and now start starving an entire population and then turning the entire region into a car park. They've leveled the end.
Yeah, so they can build high rises.
The same as dropping a nuclear bomb.
Oh, they've done enough.
It's the same as dropping a nuclear bomb on someone's land.
Without the radiation. What they've done is they've dropped a nuclear bomb in that place without the radiation. That's all.
Yeah.
All right.
This was done to Syria, Aleppo. This is done to Libya routinely, wiping out, destroying infrastructure all over these countries. The destruction is horrific.
No, yeah, and the West is sitting down and watching it. Also, although I'm pro-China,
the West is responsible for much of it.
Yeah.
Much of the weapons are opposing it from the West.
China and Russia and countries, the problem is that China needs to put, but they don't do it. They need to put embargo and sanctions on the U.S. and Israel because of that. But China has a policy of not getting involved in foreign policy. So because as much as I like China, they're still capitalist, so they don't care. Russia is already excluded. So there's no need for Russia to put sanctions on America because America has already put sanctions on Russia, and they're not economically involved. But if the global South ever gets its act together, they should be putting sanctions on America and saying we're not going to sell you any raw materials until you stop. So it's still collectively our fault. But we know that the chief problem is USA, Israel, and the NATO nations. Let's switch to the next thing. So